Travi, what's up?
It's the hashtag Simply Cyber, COMMUNITY. Here to break the cycle, this is vital more than you and I. Yeah, it's exciting, it don't matter what your title is. You can grab a friend or two or three or four and invite them in. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's the Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's the live with Jerry every morning, having good times. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Dr. Auger is a OG, got that potion, the elixir, got devotion to all those who keep on showing up to witness. Fit the tricks and quips and all the tips to raise your cyber fitness. Switching up the routines, pass it off to James quicker. Keep the people smiling, hit that follow, that's a good decision. Every week, today, tomorrow, I encourage y'all to listen. We gonna teach y'all way more than how to protect yourselves from phishing. More like being confident so you can recognize the vision. On a mission, it's official. We gon' get through all these issues. Time for jaw jacket, baby. This is more than a tradition, yeah. Oh, I can't forget to recognize the mods. They the engine, they the reason that you leave it feeling charged. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's a live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. It's a Simply Cyber, bring a good vibe. It's a live with Jerry every morning, having good time. And you know we love to see for you, just gotta go and get it. Yeah, you know we all believe in you, it's time we grow together. Yeah. What else can I say? I hope you find some value in this place and have yourself an awesome day. Simply Cyber's here to stay. So let's all put our hands together ready. Time to hang with Dr. A.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Monday, February 3rd, 2025. This is episode 805 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast, and I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour, me, you, Angular, Benjamin Middleton, Marcus Kyler of the Yeet Crew, Port Zero in the Upstate, Code Brew also in the Upstate, Triple D in the Pacific Rim, Jared Londom, Kenyon Ezo, Chris Whitlock in the Great White North. Guys, we're all going to be shredding the top cyber news stories of the day alongside BSEC Behind the Glass, bringing you, knowledge and insights into the current state of affairs in our industry, as well as distilling the essence of what those stories can mean for us to help us drive cyber risk reduction for our business stakeholders, which sounds like a lot of words, but trust me, what I'm trying to say is we make you better at doing cybers with this show. And that's why everybody, me, you, and Lara Flores and Paul Savage and The Pain and Luke Canfield, Jack Scott, Wilbert Felipe, FedEx. It's why we all show up every day and put in the work because, frankly, this is how it works. On top of that, practitioners getting that mad value. If you're looking to break into the industry, don't think that this is for practitioners only. You're going to be asked in any single job interview. So tell me, candidate, how do you stay current on the industry? It'll be some version of that. You can be like, the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, boom, mic drop. And on top of that, not only are you staying current with a dynamite answer, that's getting a bit industry ubiquitous, I might say. I'm very proud of that. I've had people tell me that they've discussed Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief in their interviews, and the interviewer knew about it, which is so super dope. You're going to hear terminology, concepts, APT, threat actor names, flaming donkeys, the works, guys. So get in here. It's all about immersion. Cybersecurity is a massive field. It's like saying I want to work in science. So the only way to basically get exposed to it is just dive in head first and, sample the entire buffet. And that's what we're doing up here at the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Now, I do want to let you know we got about 8 stories in the chamber, and I have researched and prepped for 0 of them. In fact, I was getting my situation all sorted out alongside this giant cup of delicious, hot French roast coffee, and I didn't even look at the headlines today, so I literally have 0 idea what the heck's coming down the pike, but that's all right. That's how we like to do this show. You never know what you're going to get. It's like a very perverse, cyber-forward version of Forrest Gump, okay? It's the box of chocolates, except it's a box of threat actor malware and cyber kill chains. You never know what you're going to get. You picking up what I'm putting down? All right, now before we get into it, I do got to say shout out and love to the stream sponsors because they enable me to bring this heat to you every single morning like an absolute truck. I'm riding low on a hip on a train round for glory, and alongside me is the sponsors. So let's say shout out and love. First off, to Delete Me. Delete Me is going to drop a 30-second bomb on your head. And then when I come back, I'm going to tell you how CPEs can rain from heaven with this show. Let's go, Delete Me. As a person that exists publicly, especially since I share my opinions and hot takes daily, I'm hyper aware of my safety and security, and it's even easier to find personal information about people online these days. All the data is just hanging out there on the internet, and it can have real life consequences. But I recently found a solution, and this service is called Delete Me. Delete Me is a subscription service that removes your personal info from the largest people search databases on the web, and in the process helps prevent ID theft, doxing, phishing scams, stuff like that. And when you sign up, you tell Delete Me what data you want deleted, and they go off and do it. Cool thing is you get a personalized privacy report every month that shows what they deleted, where they found it, etc. It's pretty cool. For me personally, it's like outsourcing your online privacy, which honestly, I don't have time to do that myself or do it well. So for them to handle it is awesome. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at the special discount for Simply Cyber listeners. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber. All right, yeah, holler at you, Delete Me. Great service, been using them for probably 4 or 5 months. I'm a fan, okay? Guys, I got to tell you, every single episode of this show, ain't nobody got time for that, haircut fish.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Every single episode of this show is worth half a CPE, including episode 805. Whether you're catching the show live from the airport or the back of the plane, way in the back, it's worth half a CPE. Whether you're alone in your office in your one-man shop, or you're sitting at home on your couch, or you're on the lanai like Kimberly, watching it on a big screen TV poolside with Louie, it's worth half a CPE. So come on now. All you got to do is say, what's up in chat, hashtag Team SC. It'll go right on the screen above my head. Fleetest Poston's getting those CPEs. Grab a screenshot, file it away every single day. It's about consistency. It's about putting the work in. Once a year, count those CPEs up, divide by 2 or multiply by 0.5. It's dealer's choice. And that's how many CPEs you get. It's just that easy, seriously. So say hashtag Team SC in chat. And if you are Augusta Delgado, Team Solo, thanks for repping Augusta Delgado. Listen, if you're a one-person shop, right, you're the only IT person, you're the only cyber person, whatever it is, and you don't have coworkers, welcome to the party, pal, because your virtual coworkers are right here in the Simply Cyber community. Don't disclose anything sensitive, OVs, but know that you have a network of like-minded professionals that you can bounce ideas off of and get insights. It's all about good times up in here. Just because it's work doesn't mean it has to suck. We can make work fun. We can make work enjoyable. And, honestly, cyber is a lifestyle for me. So, it is all about good times. All right, now, before we're about to rip into the stories, I do got to do another ad read as usual. Let me know in chat. I'm actually going to start a little poll. I'd be curious if people would like, I basically do 2 at the front, 2 in the middle. If you guys would prefer the 2 ads just smashed together, like one after another, you know what I mean? Just like ding, ding, like a commercial break versus the way I currently do it with, setup, and then first ad, then CPEs, then second ad. I'm going to start a poll. Community, I definitely appreciate it. I would like to be as fluid as possible with everybody and maintain, obviously the sponsorship and ad read so we can do all the things that we do here. So let me know. But before we get into that, let me just do a quick little Antisyphon ad. You guys know Antisyphon. John Strand and the crew last week actually brought the house down with all the education and love that they did. Zach Hill's up in that space. Let's do 30 seconds with Antisyphon. When I come back, we can jump into the news. Do you want cutting-edge, high-quality cybersecurity education, regardless of financial position? Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up next. You won't regret it. Yeah. Coffee's so good. Thank you, Antisyphon. And I saw Gary's question there. I got the poll going. Let me know. Guys, if you're heading to Denver, I saw a bunch of posts going out. The train has left the station. Wheels up in 5. Wild West Hackin' Fest or Mile High Fest or whatever you guys are calling it out there. Denver. Go get, there's a lot of things that are high in Denver. Those mountains are high for sure. Remember, it is Monday, so we are going to be celebrating one of you as the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. And I got to tell you, she is in chat right now. I saw her in chat, so it's all about good times. All right, guys, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. Guys, I will see all of you, including Chris Whitlock, wading through logs, who's also FOMOing it up with me at the mid-roll. Let's go.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Monday, February 3rd, 2025. I'm Steve Prentice. Google describes APTs using Gemini AI. Researchers at Google's Threat Intelligence Group say they have detected government-linked APT groups that are using Gemini primarily for what they call productivity gains, rather than to develop new AI-enabled cyber attacks. As an example, Google says Gemini can help them shorten the preparation period in coding tasks for developing tools and scripts, research on publicly disclosed vulnerabilities, finding details on target organizations, and searching for methods to evade detection, escalate privileges, or run internal reconnaissance in a compromised network. Google has identified APT groups from more than 20 countries that are using this technique, with the top 4 being Iran, China, North Korea, and Russia.
Okay. So DeepSeek can't cut it? I'm being playful here. Like, China is one of the top threats using Gemini for AI, supporting the cyber kill chain. I just think it's funny because, like, everybody was losing their mind about DeepSeek last week. Like, DeepSeek. And now it's like, of course, I'm sure, honestly, I'm being ridiculous and silly, but I'm sure that DeepSeek just launched. So this data set is probably based on the last couple months. So the DeepSeek thing wasn't there yet. So just a quick little asterisk, if you will, on that story. Guys, here's the deal. Welcome to 2025 and beyond. The genie's not going back in the bottle, okay? The Gemini's not going back in the bottle. AI is here. AI is, it's not going anywhere. And even if we as a society decided that AI was too dangerous, it's too powerful a tool and a technology for a nation state to bottle it up. So even if we agreed that, hey, we're not going to use this anymore, this is too dangerous, it's a race to the bottom. It's like, atomic bombs and stuff. Like, you can't be like, oh, this is too dangerous, let's not use it because, other countries will. Having said that, AI is going to empower us as practitioners to write detections better, right? Wading through logs turns into the keyboardist from Styx, and he's working 2 different keyboards. One's AI and one's just Wade's stash. And he's like cranking out detections. Awareness training, boom. You want to cater some awareness training to a very specific niche audience? Boom. You can do it, right? So it is silly to think that threat actors would not use AI in order to do their work better. Just remember, as much as it is, it's criminal and they're doing crime and they're doing malicious stuff. If you take back a second, the moral element of what they're doing and the social angst of, that's crime. Just think about it objectively and as an academic. They are their job is to infect machines and get credentials, get sensitive information, steal money, right? That's their job. And in order to achieve their job, they write malware and code and custom, scripts and stuff like that. And AI can enable them to do it faster, stronger, cleaner, more efficacy, etc. It's just AI helping them do their job better, just like I use AI to do my job better, and you probably use AI to do your job better too. So this literally should come as zero surprise. The fact that it allows Wade Wells to crack out a detection in lightning speed time, like ka-chow, right? Like, not to use a Lightning McQueen and get this copyright, but you know what I'm saying, right? Wade's just cranking detections out. Mike Saunders is just cranking out C2 framework stuff, whatever. Threat actors are moving that fast as well, okay? Now, the one thing that I like about this, honestly, is Gemini is owned by Google. You may have heard of them, okay? Google, the Googles, which means whether you're North Korean, Chinese, Iranian, it doesn't matter. You are you're putting your stuff into Gemini, right? So it's not, Google has visibility. Google has the telemetry. Google can see the prompts. Google can see, right? Which gives us insights into what the heck they are putting in the prompts and what kind of things they're doing. If anything, this gives me a double-fisted, because we would have visibility. Like, you can see an attack coming before it ever executes because we have the insights of the planning, right? If you're dude, if you could sit in a planning briefing of an attack, right? Like, oh, we're going to fly planes over here and deploy tanks over here. If you can see the friggin' plan, you can deploy your resources much more effectively to directly combat whatever the plan is. So if Gemini has threat actors type it in like, ooh, give me a query that takes Luma Info Stealer and modifies it to circumvent Microsoft Defender, guess what? I've got a strong suspicion Luma Stealer is going to be coming after you. And if you've got Microsoft Defender, you may want to do something. You got to patch it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if anything, I love the fact that they're choosing to use Gemini instead of DeepSeek, just because we don't have visibility into DeepSeek. But honestly, if I had to guess, if I had $50, that matters to me, right? And I was going to bet it. I would bet $50 right now that they are going to pivot, at least China, to DeepSeek, because it reduces likelihood of discovery. Now, there's claims that I'm being sus with my verbiage right now, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm saying. I will tell you, I recently switched coffees, and
As Tata Technologies suffers ransomware attack. This subsidiary of Tata Motors provides services to automotive and aerospace OEMs, as well as industrial machinery companies. It confirmed that the ransomware attack impacted, quote, a limited part of its IT infrastructure, end quote. The company has not revealed the name of the ransomware group involved or if data has been stolen. Meta.
All right. Indian multinational Tata. I don't know why, but I'm childish. Tata. Doesn't that sound like a fun word to say? Like Tata? I don't know. It sounds like something Gen Z would say. Gen Z, did you guys already appropriate this? Does this mean something in Gen Z speak? Let me know. Oh my God, FedEx. I got to tell you, this coffee, it's I'll talk about it in Jaw Jacking if y'all want. This coffee should not be lighting me up like this, but it is. All right, Indian multinational tech company. This sounds like the beginning of like a James Bond movie or something, like faceless conglomerate that you've never heard of that touches all of our lives, hit by ransomware attack. Okay. Okay, this company is involved in tons of stuff, 11,000 employees, whatever. Client delivery services were not impacted. Okay, so here's the deal with this one, all right? All right. The data that was stolen includes contracts, financial and business docs, engineering projects, and employees' PII. Tough break, employees. Oh my God. Actually, I did know that. Maybe that's why I thought it was a Gen Z word. Thank you, Justin Gold. Apparently, tatas is already appropriated, and I think it's more. I think it's been around for a while. So here's the deal I would say about this. Manufacturing companies get hit often. And hold on 1 second. I got two things for you on this one. Okay. So here's the deal. Manufacturing companies get hit often, right? And so okay, let me get my thoughts together. Manufacturing and healthcare are the most targeted industries right now. Manufacturing was number one for a while, and now it's like number one in 1A, right? It's like Jose Canseco or Mark McGuire, circa the steroid juice age, right? They're just right there one after another. Sammy Sosa too. Okay. When you get hit in manufacturing, the assembly line stops producing product, but all the product you have already produced in the warehouse, on the trucks, on the boats, on the shelves, in the warehouse, in my shopping cart, all of that still exists. So when they say client services delivery hasn't been impacted, I'm assuming it's because all the product that they have already built, they're not running just in time. We're like, oh, hey, Fleet has just purchased a car. Let's build it right now. Fleet is posting with the squad membership, 10 gifted subs. Let's go, Fleetus. Thank you. Hey, really quickly, too, if you just getting here, we are running a poll right now around the ad roll at the beginning of the show. Please take a moment to vote. So that's first of all. So with manufacturing, it is an impact, but not immediately felt, right? There's going to be a bubble, right? It's like the bubble in the honey, like when you squeeze a thing of honey and then you let go and the little air bubble goes floating up. Like that bubble will exist. At some point, a manufacturing company will experience a issue in the pipeline of their processing workflows. Second of all, and this is probably the more important one for these two, the reason I tell you that is because if you work in manufacturing, you should bring that in as part of like your tabletop exercises. Like, okay, we went down, but like that's not really a problem because we have product out there. So the financial forecasting isn't impacted. But by the way, what does it look like in 3 months, 6 months, Q2, Q3? Like, are we screwed? Number two, and more importantly, it appears this particular ransomware attack was data exfil only. So remember, in modern ransomware attacks, the threat actors do not always encrypt your data, or the defense mechanisms in place are so good that the encryption of the data does not work effectively. Long story short, you can have an experience where you suffer ransomware attack and only your data is copied off to the threat actor's control, okay? In this instance, that's what it sounds like. So the manufacturing company, they just continue to pump out widgets or automobiles or whatever they're doing, and only their data was taken. Now, how important is their employees' PII? I don't know. I mean, me and you and Space Tacos are the ones who get impacted by that. So maybe Tatas doesn't care about that. The other thing is like engineering plans. Well, that sucks. I mean, if you had some type of like, super EV battery technology, you can say goodbye to that. And financial forecasting, that could be insightful, I guess. But, I'm not a CFO. I don't know how valuable that would be. Maybe to your competitors so they can see the health of your company. Maybe to investors if you're trying to like cook the books or something like that. But long story short, I think the real upset here is the PII. Unfortunately, I'm cynical, and a multinational, huge multi-billion-dollar faceless conglomerate company. Again, I'm cynical, so this isn't a fact. Tata may love their employees, but I'd like to think that it's probably more likely that they're just going to shrug it off and be like, whatever, doesn't affect the bottom line. Straight cash, homie.
Confirms new zero-click WhatsApp spyware. Representatives from WhatsApp, a company owned by Meta, has announced the disruption of another campaign that used spyware to target journalists and others. This spyware comes from an Israeli company known as Paragon Solutions, and the campaign was stopped by Meta in December. This is another zero-click application. Paragon is the maker of surveillance software called Graphite that is offered to government clients in order to combat digital threats. It was acquired by US-based investment group AE Industrial Partners in December in a deal worth $500 million.
What? Hold on. Is that like the next story or what is happening here? Did he just like go into another store? What did I miss? Hold on.
Its website claims it provides customers with, quote, ethically based tools to disrupt intractable threats, as well as cyber and forensic capabilities to locate and analyze digital data, end quote. Barclays.
All right. That was weird. Like I don't know what that second part of that story was. Okay, so there's a group called Paragon, NSO group. To me, when you are making a product, whether you're making medical bandages or you're making tissues, having your name supplant the actual product as what people call it, i.e. Band-Aids, Kleenex, Clorox, right? You don't say, give me the bleach. You say, give me the Clorox. Hand me some Kleenex. I don't know if you guys do that, but, like that's what I do. NSO Group, in my opinion, has taken the surveillance software and appropriated it. So it's like, no one's like, oh, hey, let me install that NSO Group. But like when I think surveillance software and spyware, I immediately go to Pegasus. Honestly, Pegasus is probably what I think of more than NSO Group. But surveillance software is so hot right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Right? Like people love spying on people for various reasons. Business advantage, military, national security secrets, advantages in political elections, right? We saw a couple years ago in Spain, the Catalonian region, they were spying on each other over there. Not to be confused with the Catalina wine mixer, the freaking Catalina wine mixer. So you can Google the Spain Catalonia region Pegasus spyware. But the space is hot, and I'm telling you, they charge like $500,000, $1 million per infection. They're printing money, okay? So Paragon apparently has got in on this, and they've got something called Graphite that they use. Hold on. Graphite was used by the DEA for counter-narcotics operations. The Center for Democracy, sounds sus. DHS details about $2 million contract with Paragon. All right. So there's two stories here. One sounds like the United States Department of Homeland Security has purchased. Ooh, nice. Department of Homeland Security has purchased or set up a contract with a company that makes really, really good spyware. Hopefully they're using it on criminals and not citizens. There's the Catalina wine mixer. Just a quick shout out, Jay Gold and Haircut Fish. Jay Gold popped it in chat, Haircut Fish. I'm assuming Haircut Fish put this together. This has his fingerprints all over it. This would be me at the freaking Catalina wine mixer. All right. If you are using WhatsApp, just be aware that if you are a specific target of interest, this could target you, okay? And the final thing I'll say about this is because the surveillance software is so expensive, and this isn't to downplay anybody, okay? But like, I'll use myself. Like, nobody is spending $1 million to infect my phone, okay? Like, I'm nobody. No one's going to spend $1 million to infect my phone. So, like, it's pretty much like the Chris Rock joke about, like, if he wanted to control and, like, lower the murder rate in the United States, he would just charge $50,000 per bullet. And, like, people would be like, God dang, what'd that guy do? He's got $150,000 worth of bullets in him, right? So, like, it's a joke. It's a little dark. But the idea is that it's so expensive that it's really only used on targets of interest, VIPs, etc. So the TLDR here is, though, if you work for somebody who is a VIP, right? Let's say you work for the Mercedes-Benz race team or the Formula One Ferrari team, right? Just to pick a wild example. Maybe, that's a really, really expensive sport. Maybe the person who's writing the checks behind that would be an interesting target to get insights on, right? Maybe it gives you some competitive advantage in the Formula One circuit. Again, I've literally exhausted my entire knowledge of Formula One racing just now, just to give you perspective on how little I know about it. But my point is, if you're trying to upset an election, if you're trying to get an advantage during a merger and acquisition, right? You're Richard Gere and Pretty Woman, and you're trying to do some type of major deal, or you're what's his face? Kirk Douglas in oh my God, what's the movie from the 80s? Is it Wall Street? What's the movie from the 80s where greed is good and Blue Horseshoe loves Unicron Steel or whatever? Oh my God, what's his name? Anyways, if you're trying to do basically money, right? If you're going to spend $1 million, you damn well want to get $1 million or more back on investment. So that movie starred Kirk Douglas, Martin Sheen, Charlie Sheen.
Bank outage was not a cyber attack, but remains unexplained. An outage that occurred on Friday at the UK's largest bank, Barclays, is being described as, quote, a technical issue, end quote, and not an attack. According to Down Detector, some outages were still present yesterday, Sunday, and these were impacting both online and in-branch activities. The outages compounded a problem in that Friday is a payday for many UK workers, and last Friday in particular was the deadline for self-assessment tax returns.
Really quickly, this is it. It's the movie Wall Street. Very young looking, what's his name? I can't think of his name. I love this guy. He married, he was Ant-Man. He married, what's her face? Oh my God, he married the woman from Entrapment. Catherine Zeta-Jones. This guy right here. This is, it's a good movie, Wall Street. It's a good one. It is good. It's about greed and corruption. If anything, honestly, it perfectly, I know Gen Z, you guys love rehashing what we did in the 90s. This movie perfectly captures what the heck was going on in the 80s with Reaganomics and greed and capitalism fully put, on boats when they have how fast does the boat go? And it's the little lever. This right here, this was the 80s pushed all the way to the max. Push the faders all the way up, DJ Premier. Michael Douglas, thank you, everybody. Woo! All right, so check it out. Barclays, the banking institution, updated account balances after tech outage. Holy crap, can you imagine? By the way, listen, if you go to your bank ATM and it says you have $200,000 in your bank account when you know for sure you had $175, you don't get to take the money out and claim it as your own. I know so many people who say that. They're oh no, it's my money now. It's dude, what are you talking about? They're clearly not going to let you keep it. I don't know. Usually the systems that manage account balances are very, very secure because it is literally the lifeblood of the bank, right? If there's no integrity in your bank balance, then it's what are we doing here? Especially since there's so many banking institutions out there. Not good. Let's see. Down Detector was used. Of course, we talk about Down Detector regularly. Downdetector.com, an awesome resource to keep, basically, if any of your end users or yourself are complaining about a site or a service not working, Down Detector should be your first stop. After you ping, after you open a command prompt and ping the service, then Down Detector is your next step. So it doesn't say what the tech outage was. Honestly, it could be a... Remember, not all cyber attacks come from, mustache twirling threat actors. This is why change control, GRC Mafia, if you guys want to recognize, this is why change control, configuration management, clearly communicating what's going on, not just with the team, but also with the extended help desk and the application team and the branch offices. That's why communicating widely when you're doing updates and stuff is so important, because when crap like this happens, sometimes it's just a junior engineer who's making a mistake in tech, right? By the way, really quickly, if you're looking to pivot into cybersecurity, which is, kind of an IT discipline or IT adjacent discipline, I'm going to tell you right now, just to like prepare you emotionally, if you haven't really worked in IT yet, everybody, I don't care who you are, I don't care how careful you are, every single person who works in IT or cybersecurity will inevitably make some type of mistake that causes an outage, causes a production issue, causes a hot mess express. You will have that cold shiver run through your body at some point, usually within the first 6 months. And just be prepared. It's fine. We all know it's going to happen. You try to minimize the damage, obviously, but everybody's got a story like that. So just be aware, like it's almost honestly like a rite of passage when you have it. Everyone's got a story. In fact, it's a great icebreaker at the bar, at the conferences, because like literally everyone's got one. It's a little embarrassing. So I myself brought down production because I was I was doing software development live in production on a database, which is definitely not a best practice. Okay, let's go.
Thanks to today's episode's sponsor, ThreatLocker. ThreatLocker is a global leader in zero trust endpoint security, offering cybersecurity controls to protect businesses from zero-day attacks and ransomware. ThreatLocker operates with a default deny approach to reduce the attack surface and mitigate potential cyber vulnerabilities. To learn more and to start your free trial, visit threatlocker.com. That is ThreatLocker.com.
All right. Speaking of ThreatLocker, since we're going to smash these together, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll here in just a second. But let me run my ThreatLocker ad. ThreatLocker's all up in this place. I'm going to be at Zero Trust World in a few weeks too with Kimberly and Josh. Let's do the ThreatLocker one. We'll do our laws. And we got the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week, who you all know. She's a wonderful community member. I can't wait to share it with you. Back in 30. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com. Hey, shout out and thank you all. The sponsors are here, obviously. Barricade Cyber, Delete Me, Antisyphon, ThreatLocker. We'll do a quick little Barricade Cyber in a moment. But guys, I want to say thank you to all of you. I know many of you are going to Denver. I hope you have an opportunity to hang out, high five, and do all the things together in Denver. Shout out to Antisyphon, Black Hills, putting together a great program out there in Denver. And basically, I hope the spirit and vibes of Deadwood is at least partially there in Denver so people can experience it. Guys, I want to thank all of you. If you are getting value from the stream, I don't ask often, but hit that like button. Basically goes a long way to help other people find the show. All right. Now, I want to say thank you to all of you, okay? Now, many of you know Barricade Cyber, right? Eric Taylor, he's usually hosting on Jawjacking on Tuesdays. I'm going to be in Romania in May. He's going to cover some shows alongside some of the other team. So just awesome. But you may not know that Eric is also CEO and Chief Forensics Officer at Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But Barricade Cyber Solutions knows how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents Barclays got hit with a ransomware attack. Tata's gets hit with a ransomware attack. You know who could help them? Barricade Cyber. They can help you too. Doesn't matter who hits you or how they hit you. Barricade Cyber can certainly get there. Go to barricadecyber.com. Links in the description below. Guys, every single day of the week has a special segment, all right? And Mondays, I'm very pleased to tell you, is the Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. Now, this is a sponsored segment, sponsored by ThreatLocker, who takes a deny by default approach to cybersecurity. So thank you, ThreatLocker. But because it's sponsored, I get to give the Community Member of the Week $100 every single Monday. Some of you have been the community member in the past and know that this is legit. Some of you hopefully will be the community member. Basically, what I want to do is I recognize people. I see people. People in the community talk to me and say, oh, man, you should see what Dennis Keefe's doing. You should see what Chris Whitlock's doing. You should see all these things these people are doing. And I see it, and I want to recognize you because I appreciate it. It takes a village in order to build something as cool as Simply Cyber, and I'm grateful to all of you. So this is like kind of my way of showing that in one capacity. Now, what you may know is that this member of Simply Cyber is the community member of the week. She's going to be at Wild West Hackenfest Mile High. She's going to be carrying the flag. She's doing all sorts of things with Study GRC. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to B-Dubs, a.k.a. Brittany. B-Dubs is just a great community member. B-Dubs, thank you so very much. And B-Dubs, if you can contact me with your email on DMs before you leave for Denver, I'll get you that gift card. I'll get it to you today if you want. So, ladies and gentlemen, your Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. Let's get our la-la-la-las on. All right, let's finish strong, guys. We've got the second half of the show and then slide into jaw-jacking.
FDA and CISA warn of backdoor in popular patient monitor used by U.S. hospitals. This warning applies to a popular line of patient monitors sold by Chinese company Contec within the firmware of the Contec CMS 8000, which is used to display information such as vital signs including temperature, heartbeat, and blood pressure. The backdoor, quote, may allow remote code execution and device modification with the ability to alter its configuration, introducing risk to patient safety, since a malfunctioning patient monitor could lead to an improper response to patient vital signs, end quote. Contec devices are sold widely in the US and the European Union and may also be relabeled under different brands by resellers.
Yuck. All right. So I'm going to tell you a whole bunch of stuff about this. I did work in healthcare for a number of years in cyber. And yeah. So couple things. One, this isn't good, right? It's a baked in backdoor. All right. Now, I do want to tell you that medical devices oftentimes DJ B-Sex busted my chops. He's said, and I'll quote him in mod chat, Jerry be like, quote, I can talk about this. I'm a doctor, which is true, but I'm not I can't help you. If you're having a heart attack on an airplane, I can help you do rigorous academic research, but you're on your own with your heart attack. All right, so check it out. Couple things. One, most medical devices in the United States, at least where I worked, they have remote access solutions built into them. It's not a mystery, okay? Now they say it's a backdoor, but like, dude, like here's the reality. I don't care if it's Philips, GE Healthcare, Siemens, whatever. They sell you a product, okay? And it's built very specifically, and what they don't want, they don't want somebody at your hospital touching their technology because they have liability, they have assurances, et cetera, et cetera. So what they say is, listen, we'll sell you this product and we'll sell you conveniently, we'll sell you a maintenance contract and we will maintain it. When there's updates, when there's patches, all these things, you gotta patch it. We'll do it. And oh, by the way, this is a fact. What I'm telling you is an absolute fact, okay? They'll say, listen, the maintenance contract is $100,000 a quarter or $100,000 a year, okay? Now, that's because we have to send a engineer technician to you to work the machine, okay? Or for $30,000 a year, you can do the same thing, except we'll remote into the solution. What do you want? Now, listen, every single doctor who runs a unit, every single person has a budget. And when you say you can have the same service for $100,000 or for $30,000, 100 out of 100 times, they're going to be like, we'll take the $30,000 option.
Straight cash, homie.
Which means they're going to remote in. And oftentimes it's, you set up like a freaking, oh my God. I can't even think of the term BSEC. It's a networking term. Like basically when you couple the networks and they can remote over, I can't even think of that. Like a LAN-to-LAN tunnel, basically. There's a better word for it, but you could do that, or it could be a more traditional remote access solution where the medical device is beaconing out on port 443, which is going to be allowed right on through to some centrally controlled server by the vendor, and they remote in when they want, which by SSL VPN, thanks. Listen, here's the deal. That solution, the thing I just described, the architecture, is exactly how a threat actor does C2 control. An infected host beacons out to a controlled C2 instance, which enables the threat actor to remote in when they want, or exfil data or send commands or whatever they want. It's exactly the same thing. So before we even get into this story of a backdoor being baked into the firmware of a medical device from China, just know that like that framework, it exists and it's widespread everywhere in the United States, at least. Now, this particular thing right here sounds a little bit more nefarious, a bit more insidious, meaning it's a backdoor that isn't documented, okay? Now, how they found this, I have no friggin' idea. So, how they found it, not sure, right? Probably they saw beaconing, they saw some traffic. Somebody somewhere is definitely like got their detection tuned up nicely, and it's off and running. This device, again, I worked in healthcare. Point to point. Thank you, 8-Bit Oni. Yeah. Not a remote desktop session. It's definitely like a LAN-to-LAN VPN tunnel, basically. I mean, typically with VPN tunnels, you'll want to control what IP addresses they see on your side. But if you're, not to say anyone in here is lazy, but if your network engineers are lazy or not competent, they will just open up your entire network to the visitor organization, which is bad, right? Like any kind of thing, or star. So you don't want to do that. When I worked in healthcare, y'all. Caffeine overdose, Legrot. Yikes. When I worked in healthcare, dude, we would evaluate technologies all the time. When something like this came through that had, it did temperature monitoring and patient monitoring, we wouldn't really look at it for more than a second because it's just like not something that's got a big brain on it, right? But this right here slides right through the cracks, offers backdoor capabilities right into the environment, which isn't good, right? Again, even if you do network segmentation, this would be on a medical device network segment, which is typically not getting scanned by a vulnerability scanner because it's too sensitive. So there's a lot going on here. I will say, if you are running the Context CMS 8000, you may want to revisit and say, hey, listen, do we want this backdoor? Or put in a firewall rule that prevents network traffic from the internet going to this device, right? I don't see why you need it on the internet. Honestly, it's taken patient vitals that can push up to the EDR solution. Only if the vitals, if your EDR solution is cloud-based, maybe that makes sense, but then you could still control what IPs this device talks to. Final thing they point out is that it could be rebranded and white labeled as another product. So you might even have this thing in your environment and have no friggin' clue how to find it. So not good, not good. I would say there might be IOCs available on what IP addresses are communicating with this thing. Worth checking out. And then finally, if you want to go one step further, because I am a teacher, right? If you want some extracurricular work, I can tell you in the medical healthcare security research space, there's a dude named Christian Dameth. He is a physician, like a medical doctor, out of UC San Diego, I believe. He's definitely University of California. I think it's UC San Diego. And like literally like a medical doctor, like he does medicine. It's him and this guy right here. I can't remember this dude's name, which hopefully it'll come up right here. Yeah, you can see this is Christian Dameth right here, and there's his buddy. Oh my God, let's see if I get his other name. Jeff Tully. So Jeff Tully and Christian Dameth, if you get a chance, they actually go to DEF CON and present regularly. They do lots of research. I'm going to put it in chat right now. Dr. Dameth and Dr. Tully. If you're interested in going a little bit deeper on healthcare and not just GRC work in the healthcare space, but specifically security research around medical devices, firmware, really interesting stuff. Those two guys are what I would consider pioneers and doing a lot of innovative forward thinking in the security research space. And because they are medical doctors, they understand a lot more. They actually did a presentation at Biohacking Village at DEF CON in like 2018, I think I was at. And they actually were able to manipulate data in transit between a gasometer or whatever, like the thing that's checking some vitals on you into the EDR and be able to make it say, you should give this person insulin and kill them when you shouldn't. I had to really catch me in person at a bar. And I'll tell you a story. I brought that back to MUSC and I got into a very, very heated altercation with the chief nursing officer at MUSC. Anyways.
Globe Life to warn thousands of potential data theft. Following up on a story we covered last October, the insurance firm is warning around 850,000 of its customers of a data breach following an extortion attempt by hackers on databases, quote, maintained by a small number of independent agency owners, end quote. The company has not been able to confirm if the threat actor actually acquired data from these databases at the targeted agencies, which related to approximately 5,000 individuals originally, and so out of an abundance of caution, it is issuing, quote, voluntary notifications to and credit monitoring services for approximately 850,000 additional individuals whose information was also stored in the relevant databases, end quote.
There you go. Two things. One, I've said it before. If I was in charge of Flaming Donkey, the threat actor group, I would go after insurance companies and accounting firms and law firms just because of the corpus of data would make attacking. It would just inform your threat, your where you should attack. Again, not promoting cyber attacks. That's not what we're doing here. We are protecting people and businesses. But I'm just saying, like, I'm not surprised an insurance firm got hit. Now, what I will say is, I'm going to extract something specific here for this story. We saw recently, I can't remember the company. There was a company recently that like came out and said like, oh, we had 1 million records impacted. And then they came out like just recently, like a month later, and they're like, actually it's 1.9 million records. And they had to like update the numbers, and it was an ugly thing. From a tabletop exercise perspective, honestly, this is an interesting inject to introduce to your executive team. Let's say that you work at a business that has 100,000 customers, okay? And you say, hey, we're doing a tabletop exercise. It looks like a threat actor got into our environment. They may have exfilled data or we have some evidence to support that they got some data, maybe a couple thousand records. As part of the situation, we're going to keep investigating, but do you want to notify all of our customers or just the ones that we know right now, knowing that we're going to continue doing it and we might discover more? To me, it's an interesting question because do you just get in front of it and tell everybody and say, hey, we don't know definitively if you were impacted or not impacted, but we wanted to do the right thing and protect our customers. But it costs more money, right?
Straight cash, homie.
You should also definitely have some like financial numbers around what it costs per person to offer the identity theft and send out the emails and stuff like that. But or do we just do a couple thousand and then run the risk of having to send out another presser in a month when we figure out that it is in fact our entire 100,000 customer data set? Like, do you want to be in the news multiple times? Do you just want once and overshoot? I think that that's a really interesting discussion and decision for the executive team to work through and think through some of the options. So just a thought.
2 regional healthcare systems report data breaches. Connecticut's Community Health Center and California's North Bay Healthcare Corporation have both filed notifications regarding breaches that occurred last year, which exposed large amounts of patient data. Community Health Center, which runs dozens of facilities and clinics across Connecticut, said just over 1 million current and former patients had data stolen during a cyber attack discovered on January 2nd. The North Bay attack, which occurred between January and April of last year and which was claimed by the Embargo Group in April, has impacted just over 500,000 people through health-related data theft.
All right, regional healthcare. So I don't know what other countries do, but in the United States, healthcare is like really, well, it's multifaceted in its complexity, right? Shout out to Jesse Johnson, who's living that healthcare infosec life. I loved working in healthcare. I got to tell you, if you have an opportunity to work in healthcare cybersecurity, you will speed run experience, right? You work 1 year in healthcare cybersecurity, you'll get 3 years of cybersecurity experience. It's just, there's just so much friggin' going on. Now, in cities, like Philadelphia, right? They have the Children's Hospital, and the Charleston, there's a medical university. Boston, they've got like major healthcare all over the place. When you live in a city, you typically have access to great healthcare, right? Oh, you're having, you're showing signs of stroke. Boom, we got you covered. 2 minutes, you're talking to a neurologist. Oh, you're having a heart attack. Boom, we got you covered. You got all you need, right? But when you live out in the woods or out in the sticks or out in the, the country, if you will, not looking at you, Jay Gold, you might have to travel an hour to go to a neurologist or something like that. So there's these regional healthcare spaces that are set up that offer some fundamental healthcare services, but not necessarily all the bells and whistles, not long-term chronic care. It's more like a doc in the box leveled up, all right? Now, because of that, we're actually seeing that they are less funded. A lot of times they are receiving grant money in order to support their mission of delivering healthcare, which means just like K through 12 schools, they have less money, so they can do less things to protect their assets, their people, their data, their patients. So when you see regional healthcare, yeah, it can happen. This one's in Connecticut and California, so 2 wildly different parts of the country. And they're getting hit. Now, let's see. Cyber attack for 1 million people, January 2nd. The criminal hacker did not delete or lock out any of our data, so it didn't impact operations. All right, so a threat actor with a heart of gold. As I mentioned earlier, ransomware can be just data exfil now. It doesn't have to be encryption. They said that they think they stopped the criminal hacker's activity. So maybe that's why it didn't get encrypted. Maybe the threat actor didn't try to encrypt the data. Long story short, though, it sounds like the data got out, but the encryption didn't. So patient safety is maintained for medical care. Patient safety, not so much maintained because the data gets out on what diseases you have, what medicines you're taking, your stays, your operations, all your data, what prescriptions you have, which does make you a target for insurance fraud, for scams. Listen, if you're an older person and you receive a letter from what looks like the hospital saying you owe 30 grand for this operation you had on this date, et cetera, why would you question it? You definitely did have that operation, and oh my goodness, I didn't know I owed this money. My insurance is supposed to pay for it. I don't know. And, basically it's going to get a lot of people ripped off. I feel especially sad, and it almost feels overwhelming, but like there's a lot of older people, at least in the United States, whose families have kind of like moved on from them, which sounds sad. But it's like, Pop's in the assisted living home, and we go once a month to have like lunch with them, and it's fine. But like, in a lot of instances, you're not necessarily handling their financials and stuff. So I feel like, sadly, this type of attack is going to result in good people getting scammed, which is disgusting, frankly. Also worth noting, there's a movement the last 5 years in United States healthcare of consolidating healthcare businesses. Large healthcare systems are acquiring small rural hospitals, under the guise that they're going to save them and hook them up. But really, they're just expanding their footprint. And
Straight cash, homie.
And Dutch authorities dismantled domains linked to business email compromise fraud network. The takedown, named Operation Heart Blocker, closed 39 websites, quote, selling phishing toolkits and fraud-enabling tools, and was operated by a group known as Saim Raza since at least 2020, end quote. The name for this collective group was Heart Sender. Saim Raza also provided YouTube training on how to use the tools, and this campaign was based in Pakistan.
There you go. You can go you can go on YouTube and learn anything. First of all, obviously,
Regulators, mount up.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get some of that. U.S. and Dutch authorities taking down domains like a bunch of bosses. I do love some virtual kick in the door. Police, open up. I do love that. 39 domains actually doesn't seem like that many. Threat actors will spin up hundreds of domains in a hot minute. Let's see. Online marketplaces in Pakistan. Let's see. Operation Heart Blocker. Yes, there is a healthcare bend to today's stories, apparently. Basically, this was an underground criminal marketplace peddling in malware and malware infrastructure, and basically trying to enable inexperienced individuals in committing crime, right? So they're called skids or script kiddies, colloquially. I don't even know. Some people don't like that term. It's considered, I guess, not politically correct or whatever, but anyways, there's inexperienced practitioners that are looking to commit crime, and whoever's running these online marketplaces, all they want to do is make money, right? Like straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie.
Like I've said it before, if there's a market, people are going to sell to them. If there's a demand, people are going to have a market for it. Phishing toolkits, fraud enabling tools. You don't know how to use it, no big deal. Here is a tutorial video on how to do it. Guys, it's crazy that it's on YouTube. But it's like anything else. I wouldn't get too wrapped around the axle that it's on YouTube. If you're able to get on the dark web and purchase some type of phishing toolkit and you need a tutorial, threat actors can stand it up on anything, right? Dropbox, YouTube, Twitch, like it doesn't matter. Like just Rumble or is Rumble one or Kick? Like it doesn't matter, right? So literally there's something like stupid, like 1 million hours of video uploaded to YouTube every day. So it's not like YouTube's going to be able to catch this. Although I will tell you, YouTube caught me one time when I uploaded a video on how to deploy, I think it's called Black Eye, and it was a phishing platform. Like it was a total walkthrough tutorial. I did deserve to have that video struck. and get a community guideline strike. So here's the deal. Final story. If you F around and find out, that's what's going to happen. Law enforcement getting after it. I don't know if the United States Department of Justice and the Dutch authorities have the ability to go into Pakistan and knock these guys out, but it does disrupt their operation. Unfortunately, finally, two things. One, if the people behind it don't get arrested, then they're going to come back and stand it up again. Two, if they do get arrested, another person is going to stand it up because there is a market demand for it. We don't have to do too much with this. Just know, as a practitioner, that there are tools out there that are being tailored for inexperienced people to be able to commit crime. So there's going to be an uptick in activity of threat actor behavior, but also they're probably going to be sloppy. I've heard multiple instances of people leaving Microsoft Word documents on infected servers, and the Word document is like literally the tutorial on how to deploy the malware on the box. So like threat actors are like leaving their instruction kit on the victim machine. It's like breaking into someone's house to build an IKEA furniture and like leaving the IKEA with the pictures there. All right, let's keep going.
Have you ever wished there was...
Nope. All right, y'all. We made it through another day. Woo! I love it. I love it. I love it. Don't go anywhere unless you're going to Denver. Don't go anywhere because we are about to really, really tear the roof off this one. Following every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is jaw-jacking, your AMA Ask Me Anything 30-minute show where we're going to try to speed run all your questions and give you all the answers. Simply Cyber is all about support, inclusion, collaboration, and empowerment. If I don't have the answer, someone in chat's got the answer for you. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. This has been episode 805 on Monday, February 3rd. Guys, we straight crushed it like a bunch of bosses. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with jaw-jacking. Jerry guy, where are you at? Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jaw-Jacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some jaw-jacking. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I don't know if we had any first timers in chat, but if today was your first time on the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, please drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Seriously, I'm with Wade Wells. That Dr. Gerald Auger, what a nerd. What a nerd. Oh, doctor, talking about medical stories. You nerd. Seriously, guys, I'm Jerry Guy. I'm your host for Jaw-Jacking over the next 30 minutes. Spoiler, I am the same person. But we try to have some fun here. Like I said, if this is going to be the work, we might as well enjoy it. If you got questions, drop it in chat. Put a Q at the front, and we will do it in. We'll bring it up. Now, I think Dragos from Romania asks the question on everybody's mind. What is that damn coffee you switched to? Okay, listen. Here's the deal. Giving you a little Tidbits Tuesday on a Monday. Listen. I was fresh grinding my beans every day. Now, it's warm in the low country, but the last couple days have been cold. So, and I get up early. I get up before everybody else in my house. So if I'm going to grind my beans, I feel like I would be an absolute peckerhead. Hey, Peter Suter, what's up? First timer, ladies and gentlemen, can we welcome Peter Suter?
Welcome to the party, pal.
Peter, you can hear the sound effect and also get this John McClane emote cracking. So here's the deal. I'm the first person up in my house. I would feel like a jerk if I was to grind my coffee beans in the kitchen because we have like an open floor plan. So I go into the garage and grind the beans. Now, the garage has been cold lately. And at first thing in the morning when I'm barely awake, I'm wearing pajamas. You know what I don't want to do? Go into a freezing cold garage to grind the beans. So I don't know how I found this, but going through the pantry, I found a bag of Starbucks French roast pre-ground coffee. Now, again, I don't typically like pre-ground coffee because it's not as fresh, but I've been using it And I don't really measure my amounts anymore. So I think I've been putting way too much coffee grounds into my pot. And Mrs. Auger bought me a Stanley mug here that fits one full French press. So I think this thing holds 40 ounces of coffee. 40 ounces to freedom, little Sublime reference if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And so long story short, it's Starbucks French roast, which is what I like, but it's pre-ground, which you think wouldn't be strong, but I think I'm adding too much grinds to it, and I'm basically hardlining it directly into my system. That's what's up. Thank you for the question, Dragos. I got to tell you, I might go all in on Starbucks French roast, although I also will tell you, and Mad Destroyer might know this, I've been contacted by somebody called Rick Firewall Firewall Coffee. I don't even know what this is. Hold on one second. Firewall Coffee. Okay, this guy does coffee, and I guess it's catered. It's catered for cyber people or IT pros. Okay, hey guys, really quickly, we may be getting a crank episode soon. This company right here emailed me 2 weeks ago, and it just emailed them back today. They emailed me and they said, hey, we would love to send you some coffee. We'd love to collaborate with you. We'd love to be the official coffee that you drink on stream. And I said, all right, well, I've tried this a couple times before, and no coffee could unseat the one I normally drink. And I'll tell you personally, guys, I'm not going to drink a coffee and tell you it's one of these and lie. That's not how I'm rolling. So he's going to send me these coffees, and I'm going to go. And I got to tell you, this espresso roast, the purple one, could be a crank episode incident. All right. So just so everybody knows, we're going to be doing this. And if you haven't been around, like if you're a first timer like Peter Suter, you may not know. But maybe 2 years ago, we did a coffee thing like this where they tried to like become the official coffee of Simply Cyber. And I drank a cup of coffee called Crank. And I literally had like an experience on stream. Like everybody was like, oh my God. And like people have been asking for a crank episode, and I like refused to do it. But yeah, IR roast Wade Wells. So I'll let you guys know we're about to speed run this coffee. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's yes, I will break it out on a Friday, Chuck Sapp. All right, what else we got? Legrad says Starbucks French roast is nice. I like that too. Looking for questions in chat. I don't have any questions right now, so I'll just answer some more stuff here. I want everybody to know, if you didn't know, really quickly, today is Monday. So if you did not get it and you did not know about it, exclamation point newsletter and oh my God, what is going on? Why does my keyboard not work? Newsletter. Did you know that the Simply Cyber community has a newsletter that we send out every single Monday morning? And it's got 3 pieces of actionable intel, like literally something you can do for your end users, something you can do for your power users, something you can do for your executives. And this week, I'm intimately familiar with it because I wrote it. Literally copy and paste emails you can fire out to your end users. So super valuable. If you didn't know, now you know. We don't even really promote this. This is definitely a community service that goes out there. So please, if you're not signed up, do check it out. I think it adds value for the community. So that's why I tell you about it. All right, let's go here. All right. I don't even know what a waifu cup is, but it sounds something. Isaiah Morris says, good morning, Simply Cyber. Good morning to you, Isaiah. Space Tacos knows about the crank episode. Augustus says mixing coffee with Coca-Cola. I've never heard of that. That's something. Okay, so Roswell UK says, is change control really part of GRC? So, great question, Roswell UK. I would say that change control is actually it's really more IT than it is GRC. The only reason I mentioned GRC earlier is because GRC ensures governance, and governance is how you execute business and do things with visibility and proper communication and stuff. And I feel like GRC is the hall monitor which by the way is just like quick hashtag nerd alert. GRC is like the hall monitor that ensures that change control is done, because here's what happens in reality. If you haven't worked in a business before, you wouldn't know this. Change control basically says, hey, we're gonna deploy a new application, or we're gonna decommission this, or we're gonna stand up a new site, or whatever, right? You're gonna do something to production. And IT is like, oh my God, like we know what we're doing. It's not a big deal. Get out of our way, nerd. We know how to do IT. You suck, right? And then, so IT doesn't want to do it, and it's a pain in the butt. But then when you have production outages because somebody did something stupid in production, then all of a sudden, oh, why didn't we use change control? So GRC cares about it. GRC, it basically turns into a potential cyber incident that is not threat actor motivated, but it's essentially an accident, right? So because of that, it is a cyber control, and I would say it falls under GRC, but more from a governance perspective than from a execution perspective. Also important to note, you should have pre-approved change control items like patching servers. Yes, there is downtime, and yes, it might reboot the server, and it could have a production outage, but you don't need to do change control for every patch, right? That should be pre-approved. It's when you're doing migrations. It's when you're doing huge upgrades, like going from 2008 R2 finally to server 16 or something like that. And it's important because you need to educate IT or make aware the help desk specifically, because they're going to get a million calls if things break. All right, let's keep going. What was the best part of working in healthcare? Eric McClellan asks. Dude, honestly, for me, it was the challenge. I learned and got exposed to so much in healthcare. I loved it. I mean, it's a lot of work, but there's a lot of great people and really interesting challenges. You know, when you work in like the federal IT space or you work in manufacturing, yes, it's rewarding and you can do all the things, but honestly, it becomes a little repetitive. With healthcare, it's bananas, man. Also, the team I worked with in healthcare was amazing, but that you can't replicate that, right? I worked with some amazing practitioners when I was at MUSC. Jeffrey Fry, excuse me. What are the minimum certs you need to get an entry-level security analyst job? So Jeffrey Fry, there are no minimum certs. You can get a job with no certifications in cybersecurity. So I'll say that. Having said that, I will say the Security Plus from CompTIA is currently considered a great entry-level certification. There is some disruption going on in the industry where that may not be the case in the next year. But right now, Security Plus is kind of a safe bet. Depending on what industry you want to, or job you want to go into, CEH, which I personally don't think the CEH is I don't do pen testing, and I'm not, I don't advocate in any way for EC Council for reasons, which I'll tell you in person if you want. But I will say that the CEH does have some market value, so it is worth noting. CYSA Plus appears to be good for SOC analyst work, although there's a huge growth in the SOC analyst blue team world right now. Security blue teams has got a cert. Let's Defend, I believe, has a cert. Try Hack Me. I actually have a call with Try Hack Me today or a week from today, which I can't talk about. I don't think. Hey, just rewind 30 seconds and delete what I just said. Anyways, long story short, there's a lot of certs coming out that are specific to certain areas. I know Accolade is doing GRC certs. Again, what you should always do is look at the market, Jeffrey Fry. Look at the jobs that are out there and look what certs they're asking for. That's really the reality of it, right? Because every business that makes a certification right now, I don't care who it is, any business that makes a certification is going to tell you that their certification is the best. Oh, you need ours. Ours is doing all the things. You got to get ours. But guy, it's a business.
Straight cash, homie.
Right? Look at what the market's asking for. That's what I would say. Also, the conversation came up earlier today. I think Kimberly Can Fix It asked if Simply Cyber Academy was going to do a cert. I would love to do a GRC cert. I think I could make, alongside many of the practitioners in our community, I think I can make a killer high-value GRC cert. But in order to do that, it is a massive amount of work. Like if I was just trying to do a cash grab and crank one out, like, yeah, I could make a crap one and do it. But to do one that actually is epic is, I mean, that's like a whole thing. So I'm not ready to do that personally. But Chris Whitlock in the house, okay. Ronell Wood saying, hey, Gerald, hope all is well. All is well. Thank you. I'm not going to Atlanta this week, so that's a good start. Do you recommend the RHCSA cert after I team my CYSA Plus to be certified to do cyber work on government systems? Well, my initial thought is no, because I've never even heard of RHSA. Red Hat Certified System Admin. Okay. This is it right here. Here's what I would say about that. Honestly, what I would say is if you want to do government work, Ronell Wood, what you should look at is the U.S. government's so friggin' massive that they have like matrices. I know for cybersecurity, it's the DoD 8570 you can look at, and it'll tell you what certifications qualify for what billets. Now, a billet is basically when they put out a requisition for a job and they say, we need a system administrator at this base in Crane, Indiana. They must be IAT level 2, right? It's just an easy way for the government to have standards. IAT level 2. Well, what does that mean? If RHCSA is that IAT level 2, then yes, get it. But otherwise, if it's not showing up in a DoD billet or a government billet, then I don't know how valuable it's going to be for you. I'm just kind of curious right now. Again, this is DoD, not federal government, but so look at it. I'm looking at it right now. You can see all the certs and where they map in. IAT is across the top. Again, these are cyber ones, like information assurance technologist, information assurance manager, information assurance engineer, cloud. All right. I do not see RHCSA anywhere on here. So the value of it is going to be measured on whether or not the government's asking for it. Okay, Ronell Wood, I hope that helps. All right. What else we got? Fred on says, are they going to mail all the Simply Cyber sample? Yeah, Fred on. I'll tell you what, that'd be something. I'll keep everybody posted on the Firewall Coffee thing, okay? Roswell UK wants me to take a look at a rash. All right. Hot Soup's rocking a mocha pot, and it slaps. I like it. Viper Nil says, good morning. What's your favorite Antisyphon paid training? So I've only taken a couple training. Honestly, if I was going to promote one Antisyphon training, I got the answer for you, okay? I'll let people guess in chat right now while I pull it up. Or actually not guess my training. Drop it in chat. If you were going to take one Antisyphon training that costs money, what would you do? And Wade Wells is in chat, so everybody be aware. How do I search? Can I search? Oh, come on. I really wish I could, where is it? Like, my search isn't working, which pisses me off. All right, hold on. Antisyphon. And then here it is. All day, every day. My friend, Michelle Khan. This dude is next level. And that's what his training's actually called, too. Next level OSINT with Michelle Khan. I have tried to take this class with him. Things come up, and he busts my chops every time I miss doing this training. But this training all day, every day. In fact, listen, I'm trying. All right, later, BSEC. Be well. Thank you, BSEC. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ BSEC behind the glass. Listen, I want to take this training so badly that literally at Simply CyberCon 2025, I'm trying to get Michelle to do a version of this training live for us. Also, I'm just realizing right now, today is Monday, and we have Simply Cyber Defensive coming up in 5 minutes. So if you are wanting to ride that train and have Wade Wells and Josh Mason continue the epic run, join us for that. We're going to do a Simply Cyber raid. Boom. Looks like they're talking with Hayden Covington about SOC ops and metrics. So if you're feeling some metrics or some SOC analyst work, that's what you want to do. All right, drop your favorite Antisyphon training in chat. So Kyle has a question. He says, if your team solo, should you be the one doing the patching or should be more of a sysadmin engineer job? Listen, if you are a team solo, I mean, you can do patching, right? But you just want to coordinate. If there are IT people, you want to coordinate who's doing the patching. Because say you break the system, Kyle, do you know how to fix it? I don't know, right? If it's a critical application, you know, you might want to coordinate when you bring it down, etc. Okay. What's the strangest question I've been asked professionally or personally? Oh, geez. I'd have to think about that. I've definitely been asked some weird questions personally. I'd have to think about that, Emilio. I'm sorry, I don't have a go-to answer right now. Yeah, I don't have a good one right off the top of my head. Must be the caffeine. Let's see. Oh, these questions are all coming in. This is great. Jerry from Augusta Delgado. Any advice in how to get to Black Hat this year? I'll be traveling from New York. How many days will I need to book? All right. Well, when you say any advice in how to get to Black Hat, I don't know if you're talking about how to get your boss to pay for it. Let me speed run this question really quickly. You can, Black Hat has training, which is expensive, but typically you can get your business to pay to send you to training, sometimes easier than conference. So you can do the training up front and then stay for the conference. The conference is, I believe I usually fly in on Tuesday. The conference, I believe, is Wednesday, Thursday. So you want to be there for the main days. I personally stay at Luxor. Luxor is kind of a dump, honestly. It's like a trashy, like it's not, like the ceiling was leaking last time I was there. I stay there because it's literally connected to Mandalay Bay. And I don't have to go outside for like 3 days. It is brutal in early August, late July in Vegas to be outside. It sucks, especially on the strip where it takes like forever to get anywhere. So I stay at Luxor so I don't have to go outside. And then personally, I leave on Friday night at like the red eye. So I arrive home Saturday morning. Augusta Delgado, we always do the Simply Cyber community meetup on Friday at 3 p.m. local time. So I would ask if you do go, do your Black Hat stuff, but then if you can, try to make it to that Simply Cyber meetup on Friday. It's super, super awesome. James McQuiggan does stay off strip, which has its benefits for sure. Every time I've been to Vegas and stayed off strip and it was phenomenal experience. I stay at the Luxor because I'm carrying like literally Pelican casings of gear and I'm doing all sorts of meetings and like, just like for me, I don't want to go off strip only because there's so much to do and so many people to meet with that I just need to stay there. So Augusta Delgado, I stay at Luxor. It's cheap as hell. I think I pay $30 a night, which is wild. I know James McQuiggan. Well, I don't want to dox him. What I would say is if I was going to go to Vegas and I got to stay Actually, somebody in our community actually called me the other day and said, I'm going to Vegas this year. Where do you think I should stay? And I said, you're just going as an attendee? And he said, yes. I said, I would get one of those hotels that is like a studio with like a kitchenette and a little living room area. Get one of those. You will love it. You're going to be so happy when you come home for the day and your social battery is exhausted to be able to chill out in a comfortable space. All right. We've got Simply Cyber, Simply Defensive coming up. Season 2, episode 4. Cyber Cycle, can you describe work cadence in the Fed space? Fed space, wicked slow. Private sector, wicked fast. Roswell says, I prefer high-grade instant coffee. What area of cyber should I consider? SOC analyst is probably good. What's the value of CISA, CGRC, CCSK? I know certs are not the promissory note for a job, but does it prop the personal brand for a potential hire? Chinadu, I like CISA if you want to get into GRC. Entry-level roles in GRC are typically auditors, and the CISA is a recognized cert for legitimacy for auditors. It's ISACA's, so that's what I would go. The other two, I can't really speak to CGRC. Honestly, I haven't seen or heard of it. And then the CCSK, that's all right. All right, guys. We're crushing it like a bunch of bosses. I want to say thank you to the whole mod team. Mod love. If you're a squad member, please do drop that I heart mod emote in chat. If you were here just for, today, I hope you come back tomorrow. We got some first timers in chat. Obviously, thank you. Again, Fleetus with the gifted subs. Thank you, Fleetus, as always, for supporting. Guys, I hope you can come over to Simply Defensive. Looks like we're going live right now. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. There is a pinned comment to enable you to get to the raid. So come raid right now. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I'm just going to end the stream straight up. Let's go. See you in the raid. Let's go.